I had a great time playing this game for a few hours, but once I finished the achievements, there wasn't much keeping me hooked, aside from messing around in the sandbox for a bit. The museum dioramas are a nice touch, but progression feels lacking, and the tasks start to get repetitive. On top of that, some bugs make certain parts frustrating to play. With some updates and added depth, this game could be even better. Let's talk about the bugs. Sometimes, when placing pieces in dioramas, they go invisible, but they still get placed. The only reliable fix is saving and reloading, which left my museum diorama looking unfinished. Then there's a weird issue where certain track pieces won't place, even though they should fit. The only way to fix it is by removing and replacing several other pieces. I also ran into a bug where a stored layout randomly left floating pieces in the garage. No idea what caused it. And if you move tracks with trains on them, sometimes the trains just disappear instead of going back to the inventory. But it's not all bad. Here's what I liked. The ability to paint everything adds a lot of customization. Dioramas are a fun addition that bring layouts to life. And at its core, the gameplay is enjoyable. It just needs more depth for better replayability. Now, some things that could be improved. First, that exhibition email alert. It goes off way too often. There should be an option to disable it, or at least turn it off when an exhibition is already in progress. Then there's the lack of job variety. Most tasks feel repetitive, and you can just click through them as fast as possible. Painting jobs feel more like a test of how quickly you can move the color slider than anything interesting. And the track building UI? It's frustrating. Speaking of job variety, here's an idea. New job types could make a big difference. Imagine being asked to build a small custom layout, like a 2x2 setup for a kid who wants to get into trains. These jobs could have budget constraints or pre-placed tracks that need to stay, making things more interesting. Combination jobs could also add more creativity. Instead of just repainting a piece, you could have to clean it, then paint it, then use it in a diorama. Small changes like this would make tasks feel more involved. And for paint jobs, a few tweaks could make them a lot better. Reduce the number of required pieces, make the target color more forgiving, and remove the color guides. Right now, it's just mindlessly adjusting sliders. A little more thought would make it more engaging. Story-based jobs would help too. Right now, most jobs feel disconnected. But what if some had progression? You build a layout for a client, and later, they come back asking for upgrades, adding a table, placing new buildings, or cleaning old pieces. That kind of continuity would make jobs feel more meaningful. Now about the track building UI. There's a good variety of track pieces, but having them all in one long, unorganized list is frustrating. A folder system, where straights, curves, and turnouts each have their own category, would make it much easier to find what you need. A system like the Trackmania editor, where everything is neatly sorted, would be a massive improvement. Also, adding buffers would be great for more complex yard designs, though that would probably require reverse trains to work properly. And finally, progression. The museum dioramas are a decent way to unlock trains, but there could be more. Different track gauges, extra layout areas, or even new track types. An XP system could help here. Instead of just doing jobs for money, tougher tasks could give XP, which unlocks new museum dioramas and other content. That way, there's more incentive to keep playing beyond just completing achievements. Final thoughts? This game is fun and definitely worth playing, but with a few fixes and some added depth, it could be even better. If the devs make these improvements, I'd happily put a lot more hours into it. There's a ton of potential here, and I'm excited to see where it goes.